Full disclosure, I got a lot of help from Grok for this script because we're going to be talking about Jordan Peterson. And when you're talking about Jordan Peterson, you gotta be precise with your speech. That's rule number 10. So, without further ado, here we go. Now, personally, I really like Jordan Peterson's approach to understanding spirits, so here's my best attempt to explain it. We humans act in the world based on goals. You do A to achieve B, you do B to acquire C, and so on. These chains aren't random, they're teleological, and they're purpose-driven. Kids, for example, often annoy their parents by asking them why, until the parents hit bedrock and can't answer any further. I remember a dear friend from school constantly pestering me by interrogating my arguments with an incessant chain of questioning, asking me why though, why? Now, eventually my friend stopped doing that, because I guess he got bored of my inability to answer infinite questions. But years later, I found Jordan Peterson interrogating himself and every alleged atheist that crossed paths with him in the same manner, only with more seriousness and maturity and elegance. Now, Jordan's reason for running this intellectual gauntlet is really quite simple once you understand it. If you ask why, and then keep asking why, then you end up finding transcendental answers. If you keep drilling down, eventually you'll bump into ontological and teleological endpoints. Why does anything exist? What grounds reality? What's the ultimate aim? Why pursue good over evil? Etc., etc. Peterson argues that these endpoints aren't arbitrary. They're primordial, rooted in the ancient pre-conscious structures of life, and they're transcendental, beyond the empirical world. They point to something eternal or ideal. Efficient causes are mechanical. They're the how, they're the way that things happen, and that's all described by physics. But final causes are about why things happen, in the deepest sense, and that requires metaphysics. Final causes are the end goals that give direction to the chain of why. Peterson argues that myths and religions are evolved maps of these hierarchies, distilled from millennia of human trial and error. So gods aren't an arbitrary invention, they're emergent representations of the forces that shape reality. From a Petersonian perspective, one can say that spirits are the animating principles at the top of these hierarchies, at the end of these why chains. Think of personified patterns of being that represent the highest ideals, forces, or endpoints in our hierarchies of value and causation. Doing that, spirits or gods can be understood in the Aristotelian sense as personified final causes. They are the telos that pulls everything forward. So, to recap, what the fuck are gods? They're personified representations of the answers to infinite chains of why.